So, what is going on, guys? This is Ryan here.
And this is other Ryan here.
And today we once again have another interesting video for you all. Now, upon recent weeks, a lot of evidence has actually surfaced, recently posing a lot of new ideas towards all of these animatronics and characters that don't have a whole lot of backstory, and as a community we're actually making a lot of progress. And so for this we wanted to actually explore one of the animatronics which doesn't have a lot of backstory.
Yes, and that was Balloon Boy. Now, Balloon Boy was actually introduced in Five Nights at Freddy's 2, and there was a lot of theories about him as he wasn't mentioned at all by the phone guy, and there was a lot of theories suggesting if he was even real or not. But yeah, we're going to be discussing what he could possibly represent in this video.
Yes, and for this video basically we're going to be backtracking over all of the Five Nights at Freddy's games and putting all of the different events and circumstances into perspective. And if you guys do actually enjoy this video, be sure to let us know, because we can do this for the other animatronics too that may need some backstory unearthing about them.
Yes, so we'll start off where we first all saw him, and that was in Five Nights at Freddy's 2. I don't think a lot of us actually knew much about him, in honesty. All we knew is that when we looked in party room, no, it's the game area, I believe it was actually.
Yes.
We can see this innocent looking kid, what we all thought, with a little Balloon Boy sign and balloons in his hands, and he turned out to be one of the biggest annoying animatronics there is. While he isn't even an animatronic, he's like a hollow ghost almost.
Yes, and this is where things instantly got interesting, because me and other Ryan actually theorized the fact that how is this character able to move around the establishment without actually possessing an endoskeleton, and it almost backed up the idea that maybe the marionette, aka the puppet, didn't also have an endoskeleton too, meaning that there is actually a paranormal element which actually possesses these two suits in particular.
There's been that theory, like I said at the very start, that he actually doesn't exist, and that's because there's nothing ever said about this character. The phone guy doesn't mention him. Like, the phone guy usually picks up on anything that's new in the environment or something like that, but he actually doesn't say anything, and it just makes you think, you know, why was that? Was that for a reason, or
was there something hidden within that? And I suppose he does get a slight mention, because in the first paper we actually see that there is the new generation of animatronics, aka the toy animatronics.
Yes.
And that's what we actually know Balloon Boy to be a part of, thanks to the distinct red cheeks that he actually possesses. And from this portion, this is where things start to get a little bit interesting, because we actually know in Five Nights at Freddy's 4, these toy animatronics did in fact exist.
Well, we speculate basically that Five Nights at Freddy's 4 establishment and the Five Nights at Freddy's 2 establishment were running at the same time as each other. That's why we see the little girl, the Night 3 minigame of Five Nights at Freddy's 4, playing with the toy doll animatronics.
Yes, and these are all resembled in a very similar pose to the toy animatronics, as Ryan said. And we also see the mangle in what we presume to be another person's bedroom who actually lives in the same establishment as this crying child. Now, the last thing we want to actually cover is, of course, his mechanics. Now, Balloon Boy, once he got into your office, he disabled pretty much all of the things that kept the security guard alive, so it was pretty much certain death once we encountered this character.
Yeah, and he would troll you with that very horrible laugh that he done.
Yes. Oh, yes.
There was a lot of rumors speculating that him and Foxy had some kind of connection, because it seemed to be, obviously, he disabled your flashlight, and that's what Foxy is known for in that game. If you don't flash your flashlight, then you are pretty much dead.
Now we're going to be moving over to Five Nights at Freddy's 3 and the Balloon Boy's involvement within that game, because technically this has so far been his last game that he has actually appeared in, and he was actually involved to quite a significant extent, which kind of cemented this character as some kind of more important role within the story. Yeah,
in Five Nights at Freddy's 3 we know him and many of the other animatronics to be hallucinations, but it was Balloon Boy in particular that stood out, because he almost seemed a bit too human during these hallucinations. You could see his skin stretching almost as he's jump scared you.
Yeah, in the phantom animatronic form we could physically see his mouth opening almost like a gaping mouth, and it was very unusual. It had almost like some rubber texture to it, and it was very weird for a jump scare. We've never seen anything quite like it. Mainly it's all mechanical, and the way that these animatronics would move would be on some kind of hinge or some kind of activation system, but his seemed very unique, definitely. And I think another aspect which really cemented this guy's relevance to the story was the fact that his voice was actually used to lure the Springtrap away from you, and we know this guy's voice to definitely be that of a child.
Yeah, and this kind of throws out the theory that Balloon Boy is a hallucination, because obviously Springtrap hears something, and when you press that button it is the Balloon Boy laugh, so that must be an actual feature of the Balloon Boy. Maybe he was like, he used that laugh for children every time they got a balloon off him or something. Something like that.
Interesting. Yeah, that's very interesting. And it's just strange as well how this Springtrap character, also we know this guy to be actually possessing the purple guy during this time period, to actually be really misdirected from a simple laugh of a child's voice, and he goes straight to another room and he completely disregards the actual security guard who's guarding this establishment. It's very unique.
Yeah, he knows that there is an actual person in the office, yet he would go and take take a kind of guess as if there is actually a kid in the establishment.
Yes.
So maybe Balloon Boy and Purple Guy have some kind of connection as well, maybe.
Maybe there's something lying a bit deeper then. Another thing as well we have to remember, of course, is that we can actually see that this Springtrap character has a brain, so he's quite clearly conscious when he's completing these very actions.
Yeah, and another thing about the Five Nights at Freddy's 3 is the minigames. The first minigame we actually come across in Five Nights at Freddy's 3 is the Balloon Boy minigame, and this involves you in a little claustrophobic looking room collecting balloons. If you were to play it normally, you'd literally collect the balloons in that room, but you'd notice there's still one more left. To get that, you'd have to jump out of the actual building itself and traverse down through what appears to be some kind of Balloon Boy graveyard.
Yes, and it has some almost strange looking tree, which it's got a very weird layout. And one of the things that I actually thought about, which is very strange about this Balloon Boy graveyard, is the fact that these actual this portion, should I say, of the minigame is actually cast in black and white, which is done with intent. This is meant to feel like, as far as I'm concerned, some kind of past event which has actually happened. We're meant to be receiving some kind of information when we see this.
Yes, it's just like the Happiest Day minigame. All those characters are actually black and white as well, except from the children in present day, obviously.
Exactly, and that creates that kind of torn reality where we're seeing almost the future or the present and then the past as well. And it almost makes this Balloon Boy character possess some kind of deeper meaning, doesn't it? Because it's ironically this character who we play as, who actually, he seems to find these dead children, and they're all also in the shape of this Balloon Boy character, meaning maybe he's here to represent some kind of child, or maybe the children who died.
Yes, and to the right of this little tree and little graveyard is actually like what appears to be another establishment or another room in which there's the last balloon that you collect, and it has a very similar layout to if you were to look at the Five Nights at Freddy's 4 title screen. It has a very kind of similar layout to that.
Yeah, it's very interesting because what it appears to be in the Five Nights at Freddy's 4 title screen is these animatronic heads that seem to be placed around some kind of tree almost, it seems to be, and in the distance we can definitely see this sort of house, and we have to think back to this minigame too. It's quite unique really in the fact that we start in what appears to be a house. It has multiple floors, maybe just 2 floors. We actually get out of this house and it's almost like we're traversing maybe a similar establishment, and these animatronics in the title screen of the Five Nights at Freddy's 4 game may actually be there to signify these Balloon Boy characters which were given in this in Balloon Boy's Air Adventure, the minigame in Five Nights at Freddy's 3.
Yeah, and what's actually interesting is that that's not really where that minigame ends, because then what we have to do is go to the arcade machine, type in some buttons, and we are joined to Mangle's quest, where we give cake to this child, and then in the Balloon Boy minigame, balloons actually appear when you jump out of the establishment, almost as if there's a deeper connection between these animatronics.
And it's getting very interesting as well, because once again it's this whole Mangle character and Balloon Boy that seem to be kind of cross-referenced within this. It's like these two maybe have some kind of deeper connection. It's strange as well, because you've got to think as well, the phone guy definitely likes this Foxy character, and we know this Mangle character to actually be the female version. Then with this kid, it's very unique.
See, I was thinking when we was doing a bit of research for this, that the Five Nights at Freddy's 3 minigames, they have this feeling where it just, to me, it feels like they're in the Five Nights at Freddy's 4 era. Like, for example, we know Mangle to exist in a house at the time in Five Nights at Freddy's 4. In Mangle's quest, we're in a house reassembling ourselves with a person that's trying to rip us apart again. And obviously in the Five Nights at Freddy's 4 minigames, we can see Mangle spread across this guild kind of room. Yeah, it's just really strange.
It's very unique, and it's almost like Scott's trying to purge the fact that there is links between this house here and, I don't know, maybe some kind of other happenings which have occurred in the Five Nights at Freddy's 2 era. It definitely feels like that, as you say. And it seems like the links maybe between these two games and the mini-games of Five Nights at Freddy's 3 in particular are really starting to appear.
Also, we know, obviously, it's Fredbear and Friends in Five Nights at Freddy's 4, and in the Five Nights at Freddy's 3 Freddy's mini-game, we're playing in this establishment also, so it just feels like definitely there's got to be a connection there.
There has to be, yeah. So there we have it, guys. That was an interesting look, and we really did explore Balloon Boy in quite a lot of depth. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this video, and we're actually trying to get you guys inspired to do some theorizing yourself. We'd love to read your theories on Balloon Boy in the comment section below, and we may make a video on anything you may unearth if it's actually worthy of doing so.
Yes, but if you guys did enjoy this video, why not leave a like rating down below? And if you're new to our channel, why not subscribe for more interesting videos like this, and also some games.
So thank you very much for watching the video, guys. We do hope you did enjoy, and we'll, of course, see you on the next one.
Goodbye, guys.
Want to see even more content from us?
Consider liking and subscribing to ensure you'll see all content in the foreseeable future.
And hey, why not check out our past 2 videos?